We begin this episode seeing a young Egg wake up and begin his squiring duties and have a prep talk with Dunk's horse. He practices how he'll serve Dunk during a battle. He runs into a one-eyed mad knight that accuses him of stealing the horse. Little Egg objects and tells him it's not stealing if you mean to put it back. The one-eyed knight looked at him and says, "What's wrong with your hair?" "What's wrong with your eye?" Let me tell you something. Little Egg said y'all gonna stop coming for me. Little Egg identifies him as Sir Robin Isley and tells him, "I serve Sir Duncan the Tall, and he's big enough for the both of us." Sir Isley declares, "We've never heard of him." Little Egg simply responds, "You will." Next, we see him return to Dunk, and Mr. Duncan appears to be in a mood this morning. He asks him about his whereabouts, and Egg tells him he was training. Dunk instructs him to never wander off like that again. He tells him to brush the horse's hair, but grows soft when Little Egg asks him about breakfast, and instead teaches him how to sew first. While grooming the horse, Egg asks, "Is it odd I have little black hairs growing on my stones?" Dunk responds, "It's odd that you're telling me." Next, we see Little Egg singing a song about the Blackfire Rebellion while Dunk is vomiting behind a tree. Dunk approaches him and tells him to grab his armor so he can enroll in the list today. Little Egg explains that only highborn knights can enroll on the first day of tourney. Dunk then asks, "Then why have I been throwing up all morning?" Dunk must have some bad nerves. They travel to the market for breakfast and Dunk purchases goose eggs from a merchant. He runs into Tansel and she tells him his shield will be ready later that day. Egg teases Dunk about his crush. Suddenly, we get a cute montage of them making and eating breakfast and enjoying a day of jousts. Next, we see them sitting on a hill and staring down at the market. They have a brief conversation about Egg continuing to be his squire if Dunk is successful in the tourney. Dunk tells him, "I'll scarcely be a knight if I lose." The master of turning summons Dunk and tries to get him to take out a specific knight for money. Dunk refuses to take a victory he hasn't truly earned. The gentleman tells him to think about it and walks away. Suddenly, we hear the sound of horns, and we see that Prince Arian is participating in the next joust. He tells his cousin, come out, little knight. It's time you face the dragon." As the joust begins, Arian purposely harms his cousin by stabbing his horse, causing the horse to collapse and crush his cousin's leg. The small folk in attendance are appalled and begin to throw stones at him. The Royal King's Guard come out to ensure the prince isn't harmed. Egg tells Dunk he would like to leave as a gentleman approaches the horse to put it out of its misery. As they're leaving the joust session, Dunk tells Egg it was probably an accident and things like that are bound to happen. Egg quickly responds, "That was no accident." We get a scene of them at a tavern and the patrons are singing about a song with risque lyrics from medieval times. They leave the bar and run into a fortune teller in the middle of the market. She tells Dunk that he'll bear children and will be as rich as a Lannister. However, she tells Egg he will be king and die by fire. All will rejoice in his death. Egg looks at her with fear in his eyes. Dunk laughs as Egg asks, "Why would she say that to me?" Okay, if you're familiar with this story, you know all that she said comes true. So this lady is the real deal. Next, we see Dunk chat with his friend Raymond Fossaway, who expresses some interesting opinions on the Targaryen family. He tells Dunk they're incestuous aliens, blood magicers, and tyrants who enslaved us and forced us to fight in their wars. He must really trust Dunk to tell him all this. It's clear the lesser houses do not like being under the reign of the Targaryen family. While this is happening, Arian crashes Tansel's puppet show. Suddenly, Little Egg runs into the tent and yells, "Help! Help! He's haunting her!" Dunk jumps into action and sees Arian is breaking Tansel's fingers. He runs over and punches the psycho prince in the face, tosses him to the ground and kicks him as he gets up to approach him again. The guards intervene and hold Dunk back. Arian spits out the blood in his mouth, slowly approaches Dunk and asks, "Why did you throw your life away for this whore? She's scarcely worth it. She's a traitor. The Dragon Lord never loses." He continues and tells him, "You loosened one of my teeth, so we'll start by breaking all of yours." The guards begin to put Dunk's mouth on the end of the stage. Egg yells, "Stop! Don't hurt him!" Dunk yells, "Hold your tongue or they'll hurt you too." Egg responds, "No they won't. or they'll have to answer to my father. Little Egg commands the guards to release Dunk. Arian looks at Egg and says, "You impudent little rat. What happened to your hair?" Egg responds, "I cut it off, brother. I didn't want to look like you." Dunk stares at Egg in disbelief, and the episode fades to black. I love this episode. I feel like we got so much in these 30 minutes. I love all the bonding scenes between Dunk and Egg. I felt they got even closer in this episode. Also, judging by the psycho behavior of his brother Arian, we see why Little Egg has run away and gone incognito. Who wants to be in the same vicinity as a violent psychopath? Him breaking Tinsel's fingers and instructing his guards to break all of his teeth showed how brutal some of the Targaryens can be. This is part of the reason they remained in power so long, even after the extinction of dragons. It was nice to see Dunk give him the beating he deserved. Little Egg revealing himself as a member of the royal family in the end was awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing how this changes Dunk and Aegon's relationship in the future episodes. I rate this episode a solid A. If you like this review, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.